Good afternoon. Welcome to Empire Road in Johannesburg, in Parktown, where the Zondo Commission is sitting, and we've had a dramatic day's testimony. Former President Jacob Zuma has indeed testified or started to testify at the State Capture Commission. My name is Peter Dutoy. I'm News 24's assistant editor for In-Depth News, and I'm joined by Jeanette Chabalala, our senior legal correspondent. Good afternoon, Jeanette. First of all, first things first, were you surprised that the former president did come to testify today after all the drama that we've had over the last couple of months?
Definitely. I didn't think that the former president was definitely going to come here and testify. I mean, we've been asking ourselves, days leading to this, his appearance, we've been asking ourselves, is he going to testify? Is he going to come forward? And then this morning I was like, maybe his lawyers might say, no, this process hasn't been done well, he's not going to testify. But hey, he blew us away. He is actually testifying today, yes, and saying that he's been provoked so many times, and he has a list of spies, and he's willing to out some people. He's already outed Ngogora Matlodi, calling him a spy. Peter?
Well, let's just bring our viewers and readers and News 24 fans into the picture. It was a dramatic morning's testimony. Former President Jacob Zuma did indeed take the stand. He testified that he has a list of spies. He, in fact, waved around a piece of paper at one stage, saying that he has a list of names. Like you say, Jeanette, he did name and he did identify Ngogora Matlodi, the former Minister of Mineral Resources, as a former apartheid spy. He involved billionaire businessman Johan Rupert, saying that Rupert threatened to collapse the country if Pravin Gordhan is fired. He made all sorts of allegations. He spoke about his friends, the Guptas, saying that they are friends of his, that they're business people, that they're good comrades. So it was quite a wide narrative arc. It was quite a long-winded story that Jacob Zuma told us. Let's start at the beginning, and let's start to talk about the most dramatic testimonies or claims that he made this morning. Ngogora Matlodi claiming that he was an apartheid spy, saying that he was recruited in Lesotho. What do you make of that, Jeanette? How do we test that?
Okay, first of all, I think Ngogora Matlodi has already responded to News 24, saying that a lie detector is needed. So I think that is very serious. And when Ngogora Matlodi previously testified here, he said that the former president, like the relationship that he had with the Guptas, it was toxic. And that Zuma auctioned the country. But what Zuma says is that, but what did I auction? Did I auction Table Mountain?
Yeah.
What exactly did I auction?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to take us back. So Zuma believes that he has been, there has been a plot against him from long way back, from the 1990s. There has been a plot to get rid of him, and he has mentioned 3 intelligence organizations, and also that, with the Nkandla report as well, that Tuli Madonsela, the way she just did her report, that was not, he was just unhappy with
Jeanette,
it.
that was a big part of today's testimony, wasn't it? I mean, Jacob Zuma from the very beginning cast himself as the victim.
Exactly.
It was true to form. We know from his previous court appearances, previous cases where he was to appear in court, when he was under pressure, he always cast himself as the victim of plots. Today it was very clear. He used the word conspiracy at least 4 or 5 times. He spoke about plots. He spoke about a grand plan that started in the early 1990s. Exactly. Tell us about that.
And that he has been vilified. He's been called the chief corrupter of people, and he doesn't understand why his own people would actually call him that, which is actually interesting, hearing from Zuma for the first time, saying all these things, because we've been hearing from his lawyers saying that no, this commission is treating him like an accused, and he also believes that there's no state capture at all. I mean, he did say, why do we call it state capture? Are we saying now that the judiciary is captured? Are we saying that parliament is captured? I mean,
but going back to the spy claims, to the apartheid spy claims, why is it such a serious allegation, Jeanette, to label someone or to identify, to brand someone, especially someone in the ANC, as an apartheid spy? What's the impact of a claim like that?
You know what's interesting to me? He said that Mwako was a spy, right? But why did he hire him? Why was Mwako part of his cabinet?
Well, Zuma appointed him as a minister, didn't he?
Exactly. So why was that? I mean, he said that I believe that he would change. Why would you believe that a spy would change?
How serious is something like that? accusing someone of being an apartheid spy?
It's very serious. Wow, Peter, you know that this is very serious.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
You can't just accuse someone of being an apartheid spy. ANC people believe that when you're a spy, you actually betrayed, you got information for other people, so this is very serious.
So it seems to be, and tell me if I'm wrong, but it definitely seems to be a way for Zuma to deflect from all the allegations against him, from trying to brand someone else as probably the worst, making the worst accusation that you probably can against someone in the ANC, saying that they're an Askari. We know the history of the 1980s or the early 1990s, so to brand Ngwako Ramatlori, he's going to have to back that up, I'm very sure. Otherwise, in the Ramatlori, I'm sure there'll be space for some or other form of reaction or action against the former president.
Do you believe so? Do you think there'll be action?
Well, surely if you make claims like this in a forum, you need to be able to back it up with evidence. Let's move on and move on to further spy claims. He waved around a piece of paper at one stage and says he has a list. What's he trying to say? What's he trying to tell those in power? And did you pick up any threats to someone that you could identify?
No, not someone I can identify, but Zuma did say in the past that I'm going to spill the beans. But he might use this commission to spill the beans, and I can't wait for him to mention more names.
Are you expecting more names this afternoon, Jeanette?
No, not this afternoon, because it's already after lunch. After lunch he'll be saying other stuff, but not today, not more names.
Jeanette, tell me, this morning Advocate Musi Sekakane made some representations. It was clear that he was trying to show or to put to the judge, or the Deputy Chief Justice rather, that former President Jacob Zuma was treated unfairly. What did you make of that tactic? Was that a way to undermine the commission, or was that a way to delay Zuma's testimony? How do you see that approach?
No, I think it was a way of explaining the correspondence. Remember, Zuma's lawyers were writing to the Zondo Commission. The Zondo Commission was writing to Zuma's lawyers as well, asking him when he's going to actually submit an affidavit. And, there's been a lot of a standoff between Zondo and the former President Jacob Zuma. So I believe that he just wanted his client to be treated fairly, because he did say that some people, when they appear here, they are treated like sweethearts, while others are treated as accused. So he just wanted to make sure that Zuma is well taken care of, because when he asked for questions, you can remember now that when he asked for questions before he appeared, the Zondo Commission said, no, we are not going to give you those questions. So he just wanted to tell Zondo that because you didn't give us questions, we didn't have time to actually prepare him, for this appearance. So whatever he's going to be saying now, we don't know. We don't know what he's going to be saying. We did not prepare him for whatever. So we are handing him over to you, but just make sure that you treat him fairly.
Well, did not prepare him. There's certainly a lot of things in the public domain. A lot has been written in books, in newspaper articles, in stories, in exposés by investigative journalists about former President Zuma's alleged role in state capture. A lot of allegations has been made at this commission since it started its work in August of last year. So I think there was a lot of time to prepare, and I think it's disingenuous of Advocate Sikakane to say that there was no time to prepare. Everything's in the public domain. But the story for the benefit of our viewers and listeners and readers and News 24 fans, which I'm sure there are many out there, was that former President Zuma he went back into the early 1990s. That's where he went to go and fetch the story. He spoke about the ANC's conference in 1990 that was postponed to 1991. He spoke about 3 intelligence agencies that were apparently planning to oust him or to remove him from his position. Then he jumped to 1999. He went to the early 2000s. So the story jumped quite around quite a lot.
Quite a history lesson.
And the story was about Jacob Zuma, the victim. The story was about these fantastical plots, 3 intelligence agencies that he did not name. He spoke about the Americans. He spoke about Johan Rupert. Rupert seems to come out at every discussion around all these kind of plots.
But even now that they want to kill him, someone wants to kill him.
There was a poisoning and assassination attempt. But let's talk about the Guptas, because that's the reason why we're here. The Guptas and Jacob Zuma are absolutely in the center of the state capture narrative. And he said he wants to address his relationship with the Guptas. What did you get out of Zuma's explanations what his relations were with the Guptas. What was your main takeaways?
The former president has never shied away from telling us that he's actually friends with the Guptas, and he says that they are businessmen, they are legit businessmen, and he believes that his son could benefit from these people. So he doesn't see anything wrong with that. He said Nelson Mandela, he was friends with them.
Dramatic,
he
wasn't
said,
it?
he said Thabo Mbeki was also friends with them. So he has never really said no, they're not my friends. He believes that he could benefit. I mean, his children could benefit from this family. And also, sorry.
No.
And also, he doesn't understand why he can't be friends with other people, while other people can be friends with them.
Jeanette, and just before we wrap up, one of the most insightful comments that he made, or statements that he made, was saying that yes, he spoke to the Guptas about establishing the newspaper. In fact, he gave them the name, The New Age, for their newspaper, and then he suggested that they also start a television channel. That could be quite problematic, I would think, if you put that next to Themba Maseko's testimony about the Guptas calling him and strong-arming him to try and advertise in their newspaper.
Yes, but as you can remember, so Zuma says that he doesn't trust the media, South African media, he doesn't trust us at all. So he wanted to try something that spoke for black people, can I say that?
Yes.
For the
ANC,
for
the government.
ANC, for the government, because our media is not, he doesn't trust it. And with Themba Maseko, that is quite interesting, because he said the former president called him and he said that help them. But he didn't say do this. He didn't instruct him to do anything else. He just said help them. So he might just say here that I said help them, but it was up to you to do whatever. I never forced you to do anything.
We'll see how you get out of that one. Jeanette Chabalala, News 24 senior legal correspondent, thank you very much. We're about to return to the hall here at 44 Empire Road, where former President Jacob Zuma will continue his testimony in the afternoon. The morning was quite dramatic. Spies, the Ruperts, Americans, and all the rest of it, Mandela and Mbeki were all part of the testimony that we heard this morning. Follow News 24 for this afternoon's testimony.